It is that time of year where you're setting big goals for yourself. Although it's very exciting, you might be having a little bit of self-doubt and you might be feeling a little overwhelmed with how you're going to hit that goal. And I understand why you're feeling that way, because studies show that 2/3 of people who set yearly goals end up giving up on them within the first month of the year. And trust me, we've all been there. And there have been times where I've sat and thought to myself, maybe these goals are too big. Maybe I'm setting goals that aren't achievable. But I want to let you know this. You don't need better goals. You need better systems. A goal is a result you want to achieve, and a system is a process that leads you to those results. In James Clear's Atomic Habits, he writes, "It's your commitment to the process that will determine your progress." And without a proper system in place, your goals are unfortunately meaningless. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a step-by-step guide on how to build better systems that will help you reach your goals and become the person that you've always wanted to be. I have been using this strategy for the last year and a half, and it's gotten me so far. I've reached my financial goals this year, my weight loss goals, and I'm continuing to use this strategy to continue to grow in my self-development journey. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay guys, so we're gonna start off by identifying 1 to 2 essential goals. For me personally, I recommend focusing in on one big goal. And if you must do 2, you need to take the time to figure out whether or not you have the actual time to set systems around these 2 goals. Because the more time you dedicate to this one goal, the better the outcome is going to be for you. And if you're going to choose 2 goals, I need you to properly assess your current situation, be realistic, really try to figure out whether or not you're going to be able to juggle the 2. Most of the time I can focus on one big goal and then like a small goal at a time. So like a big goal meaning weight loss, right? And the small goal meaning keeping my space tidy. But I wouldn't focus on losing weight and running a marathon. Like that's just too much. I'm going to focus on losing weight first, and then I'm going to transition into becoming a marathon runner. So before we even set any systems in place, it is time to do some research, okay? Once you set these big goals for yourself, a lot of times you should be really excited, okay? It should bring so much joy within your heart, within your mind, and you should want to do research. Now, if you are dragging your feet to do research, then this is probably not a goal for you, because you need to do the work. Google is free, YouTube is an amazing search engine, and several local libraries have a research database where you can actually pull up scientific studies that were done on the topic that you're trying to research. But after you do all of the research that you need to do on the internet, it's time to reach out to people who are in the position that you want to be in. All in all, when it comes to research and reaching out to people and watching YouTube videos, I need you to use proper discernment. So take everything with a grain of salt, and do realize that everyone's experience is different. And just because someone may have a bad experience with something does not mean that you will have a bad experience with it. But that shouldn't stop you from seeking out different opinions and doing your research overall. All right guys, so next we're gonna move into habit changes. When it comes to your habits, you either have to change your pre-existing habits and or add new habits to your structure. But your dedication to these habit changes will determine your success overall. So if you have a goal this year to wake up at 5 a.m. to work out, let's say 3 times a week, it's important for you to really take a look at your current morning routine and your current night routine and see what changes you can make. I think it would be best for you to work on a system and a night routine that is going to help you be successful at waking up at 5 a.m. Like making sure you're eating dinner between 6 and 7 p.m. Okay, making sure that you are showering by 8 p.m. Making sure you set your workout clothes on your nightstand or in the bathroom right after you get out of the shower, and making sure you are in bed by 9 p.m. and deep into sleep by 9:30 so you can successfully wake up at 5 a.m. As you can see, I just put together a system full of habits that are going to help you be successful, okay? A system full of positive habits that will lead you to the right place, and that is your ultimate goal. I just want to say this, it's going to be a journey. It is not easy to change up your habits. It is not easy to change up the things that you've been doing for weeks, for months, for a long time. It is not easy to change up your habits. But let me tell you guys, it's a journey. Like I said, this is a never-ending journey. There's a goal at the end of the tunnel, but we're ultimately making lifestyle changes to make our lives better, okay? To feel better, to be better. And you're building better habits to get yourself to become the person you've always wanted to be. All right, guys, so now that we've done our research, okay, we figured out the habits that need tweaking in our lives, or we figured out what habits that need to be added. Now it's finally time to put this system all together and start planning for a very successful future, okay? So when it comes to planning, I love using Google Calendar. It's the best thing ever. I think it's so easy. You can access it on your phone, on your laptop, anywhere. You can access it literally anywhere. So I love using Google Calendar. However, you can use a physical planner, a digital planner, whatever you prefer, honestly. So we're gonna go back to our marathon runner. Let me just say this, when it comes to running a marathon, I've never done it. I don't have the expertise in training for a marathon. I'm just using this example because it's fun. You need to look at your actual life, your actual schedule, and create systems around your actual realistic life. So let's go into Google Calendar and look at our schedule. So in your schedule, you need to make sure that you have work penciled in. You need to make sure you have what time you wake up in the morning penciled in. You need to have all of these important things penciled in. And this is very similar to creating a routine. And I have a video on creating a routine. I'll link it here above. So after you did your research, you realized that you need to make sure that you're running 3 times a week in the beginning and training 2 times a week, okay? You decide the 3 times a week that you're going to be running are going to be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and you're going to be training on Tuesdays and Saturdays. You go to your calendar and you decide to map everything out. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are going to be your run days. Tuesdays and Saturdays are going to be your lifting days. And Thursdays and Sundays are going to be your rest days. And you fill out your calendar for the month accordingly. I think it's important to make sure you're working month by month when it comes to a schedule like this. So at the end of each month, you can assess the situation, see where you are in terms of your progress, and make any changes that need to be made for the next month. So when you look at your calendar and this plan that you've set in place, you are going straight to the location where you're running after work every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You need to not only make sure you have a plan in place for the perfect days, but you need to have a plan in place for the imperfect days. I talked about this in my discipline video. I'll put it here in the cards above. What happens if it rains, okay, and you can no longer run outside? Then you need to make sure you go straight to the gym on the rainy days and still get the run in on the treadmill. It's not going to feel great. It's going to be a little unfortunate running on the treadmill, but it's still training nonetheless, okay? So you need to have backup plans if these things don't pan out. It's all about thinking ahead and being flexible in your plan that is set in place. You cannot let life happen to you. You have to take control of the things that you can control. Now that you have your calendar set, you're super excited about this schedule that you've made for yourself. You are ready to hit the ground running. I think it's important to take it a step further and create a habit tracker in your phone. A habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit. 1, it's a visual cue that reminds you to act. 2, it motivates you to want to keep going. And 3, it's a record of your success and or failures, okay? At the end of the month, when you're looking at your habit tracker, you're going to be able to analyze all of the information and figure out whether or not the habits that you've set in place are working and what changes you need to make from there. Habit tracking is amazing. I use it for everything. I use this with my social media strategy. I use this with working out. I use this with eating healthy. Okay guys, so I'm gonna share with you guys how to create a habit tracker in your notes. I think this is the best way to do it, so you can just track your progress every single day. And if you have an iPhone, it's just so easy to access this way. Always in the Notes app, writing things out, writing out ideas for videos, writing out different quotes that I read in books. Like, I'm always putting things in my notes, so I'm frequently in that app. So I think it's important that I put a habit tracker in there because I'm always there anyway. The thing is, guys, it may feel a little tedious, but I promise it does not take much time at all to do this. You can do this while watching a movie. You can do this while just laying in bed. It does not take long at all to do a month's worth of habit tracking. And we're going to use the example that we've been sticking to, which is our marathon running, okay? And I do want to say this, I've never run a marathon, so this is just a fun example, okay? So starting with January, we're gonna do our January marathon training. We are going to be running Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we're gonna start with Monday, January 1st. We're going to add our habit, which is run 1 mile. January 2nd, remember on Tuesdays and Saturdays we are training. Thursday's a rest day, so no Thursday. Friday, January 6th, train lower body, and then Sunday is our rest day. Okay guys, I only did week 1. That took me 2 minutes. And the reason it took me a full 2 minutes is because I was talking so much. And that is all of week 1. So essentially, it's only gonna take you around 10 minutes to do your first month of habit tracking on your phone. So now that I have this habit tracker on my phone, I haven't done the full month, but obviously you can go through and do your full month. Then after I run that first mile, I'm gonna check that off, and it's gonna feel so good. And what that's going to do, it's going to build so much confidence within me. It's going to keep me motivated, and it's going to help me track my progress. So you can honestly take it a step further and track the actual mile, okay? Add your mile time. Maybe say that the first mile is 15 minutes. That's pretty realistic for me because I'm such a slow runner. Your first mile came out to 15 minutes, okay? And then your second mile came out to maybe like 13, and then like keep tracking from there. And at the end, you can put expectations for the end of each month. So this is kind of like a little goal for the end of the month. You don't want to, make huge goals, but a nice expectation at the end of the month can be getting your mile time down to around like 11 minutes by the end of the month. So at the end of the month, you can track your progress, you can figure out what changes you need to make for the next month, and you are gonna feel so proud of yourself after seeing all of the miles you ran, all of the training you did, and how dedicated you stayed to this journey. And as the months go on, you're going to progress and you're going to become an expert, and eventually you're going to be able to run this marathon, okay? I know you're going to be able to do it. But we have to talk about one more big thing before we close out this video. So you set the goal, you've done the research, you've started looking at your current habits and started to figure out what habits you needed to change, what habits you needed to add, okay? You went through your calendar, you made the changes in your calendar that need to be made, you put in all of the new things that you're going to implement in the month, and you've created a habit tracker to keep you on track to hitting your goals, okay? You are on the right track to being successful. You have done the work, okay? But the thing is, now that you've done the work, I need you to remember that this is only going to work out by you staying disciplined and dedicated to this process, to this journey. When you're looking at all of the miles that you have to run throughout this month to get to the marathon that you're trying to run, you have to realize that there are going to be days where your body just does not feel like pushing through. And you have to make the executive decision on whether or not you have to skip out on that workout to heal. And you're also going to have to make the decision to get yourself back out there the next day, okay, to continue the path. There are going to be times where you don't check off everything, and there are going to be times where you do. But the thing is, times where you start to slack, this is not the time for you to keep falling further and further down a negative path. Use it as an opportunity to get whatever you need to get done in your personal life or whatever done, and get back on track from there. You cannot give up. Essentially, that is what I'm saying. You cannot give up. There are going to be times where you're running this mile every day and that time is not getting any better. And that might discourage you. But does that mean that you're no longer going to run the marathon? No. That means that you need to keep working on getting better, seeing what changes you can make in your life to be better, doing some more research and seeing how you can get over a plateau in this journey, doing the work. We talk about this so much on this channel. You have to do the work to get to where you want to be. It is going to be a tough journey, I promise you. Last year I had so many sleepless nights. There were times where I just wanted to cry. I experienced some heavy burnout. And I've come to a place where I am so confident in my ability to hit any goal. I just have to sit down, take the time to strategize, to plan, to research, to get myself together. And we're gonna get there. Let me tell you, we're gonna get there regardless, because I am resilient and I know you are too. I hope this helped, okay? If you're someone like me who struggles with productivity and you need a lot of structure in your life, these tips and tricks are going to help you be successful. You need help tailoring this to your life, drop a comment down below. I will try my hardest to get back to it. I'll try my hardest to answer your questions down below about this strategy. I've used this strategy when it comes to weight loss. I've used this strategy when it comes to my career here on social media, and it's something that has worked so much for me. But the thing is, you can't skip out on any of these steps. You have to follow each step, guys, okay? All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions down below, like I said before, and thank you guys for joining me. So now when we break, we're about to go crush the goals, okay? Whenever I say 3, we're gonna clap and we're gonna say goals, okay? 1, 2, 3, goals. All right, guys, peace out, girls. Bye.
Bye.